Let's go, baby. This is another episode of the Athletes and Assets podcast. I'm your host, Noah Lack, and typically I bring on your favorite athletes to chat about the business they're building. Today, we go a little solo vibe, but first off, we're here in NYC, baby. Come join us in the Manhattan Lab. Check out the manhattanlab.com, run by my guy, Matt Marlinsky. Come and get your pod and look at this, look like me, right? Like, look at this view, look at this camera. You know what I'm saying? So, come here and shoot a couple pods, man. Now that I'm done plugging them for 40 minutes, let's get to some content, man. So today is a very close to home episode. A lot of athlete entrepreneurs struggle to fundraise, plain and simple. Whether it's for their real estate or tech startup, sometimes even the consumer space, with food, beverage companies. This podcast is really tailored towards folks that have like Delaware C Corp of some sorts. I'm really not familiar with the LLC side of things, and I want to bring on an athlete to educate you more on that side. So Delaware C Corp, you're raising money for your tech startup, your beverage company, putting together money for your real estate fund. It's a little different, nuanced in those spaces, but generally the advice I see being given and applied has been something of good practice in Silicon Valley for the most part. Now, let me tell you what I am and what I'm not. I'm not a guy on the top of the hill who's been in the venture capital game for 20 years. Nope. I started off in VC after I was done hooping. So I do know a little bit about best practices and what you should or should not do, being on both sides of it, being on the dark side, as they say, and the light side, all right? And so I forget sometimes that I've been living in a bubble. And I mean it in a good way. It's a good way. Silicon Valley is a bubble. Everyone's raising or investing, and you see all types of people, real people, fake people, and you take for granted, I've taken for granted that a lot of entrepreneurs, many of whom happen to be athletes, struggle with fundraising. Today, I'm going to tell you stuff that's like some people may think is obvious, but maybe you are learning for the first time of like what not to do, because please don't do this shit. I've been fortunate to be around some of the best, fastest, most experienced entrepreneurs and see their fundraising practices and methods. And, I'll do another episode of the do's, but today let's talk about the don'ts. All right. Rule number one, it's not the number one thing I see, but please, guys, please do not issue equity for introductions. If someone wants equity in your company just for introing you to another person and the chance they may invest, run for the hills, please. This person probably is not an experienced investor. This person could be predatory, or this person is trying to get a quick buck, which is ironic because if they have equity in your company long term, like if it goes well, they're not going to, well, if it goes bad, you're not going to get anything. But, if it's a 5 to 7, 8 year journey, that's not a quick buck. You got to wait a while till that stock materializes, or you can sell secondaries. Depends how your company's structured. You get the point. That's a bad signal, okay? So start off by running a clean fundraising process, okay? Which brings me into my next point, which please, please, please listen to very closely. If you're the founder of a company, and particularly it's a tech company, and you're not leading the fundraise, you're probably getting screwed, my friend. Don't be that guy. Hiring a third party to raise, to me, sounds like a long-term death sentence. You're not a lawyer, presumably. If you do have a lawyer background, you're probably not doing this. You don't know what's in that contract, and hiring a third party institution to raise money for you, and you don't even know like who's putting money in, and they're saying, "Oh, we got it. We'll take care of it. We get this chunk." Bad move. Bad move. Please do not do that. Do not do that. Did you read the contract? Do you know it's in the language? Are you going to get screwed? Who else is investing in that when the third party puts together that syndicate, which is basically like a syndicate fund is a deal by deal basis where a lot of funds they invest, they raise money to invest in multiple deals, but a syndicate fund is deal by deal. So if a syndicate fund invests in you, people just created a fund just for your company. Now, don't feel super special. There's a ton of syndicate funds. It's not like, right? But like, that's what I mean, right? So who's putting money when that third party is putting together that syndicate for you? Like, who's investing in it? Which brings me to point number 3, which is probably the most obvious one, but I'm going to say it again. Where are your checks coming from? Do you know who is actually putting money into your company? Have you vetted them? Have you talked to people behind their back? Have you asked, like, where's the background check coming in? Anytime someone has dangled 6 to 7 figures of money in my face off rip super easily, there's something wrong. Something's not adding up. It doesn't make sense. Okay. A&A, or valuable property. Someone ever just, I don't know, says, I'll give you 7, 8 figures and we're going to do this, this, and this. And they do like, they want to do this and this and this. And like, I don't understand what they're saying. And it's like a mumble rap off into the distance. I know there's something there that I should not be involved with. And I think you should think of that in the same light. There really is like dumb money versus smart money. Like, you really want to be as strategic as possible. I understand you can't run your business without money in the door. Trust me, I appreciate that. But please just don't take money from a predator. All right. Don't issue equities to predators, and don't take money from someone who's going to be exploitive or is going to tell you how to run the company that you know how to run best. So those are my 3 quick hitters. I think athletes struggle to raise money because, unlike software engineers that are around big tech companies that are naturally bumping elbows with people who invest in software and tech companies, athletes don't think about, a lot of athletes, including myself, while playing, did not think about starting their own company. And I don't blame you. Like, why would you? Trying to get buckets. Okay, I can't worry about an LLC or DC Corp when trying to get buckets. And you don't actually have that built-in network when you start the company. And so you kind of have to scrap together. You have to expedite the networking process, which, if you're not the biggest name in the world, if you're not the biggest brand name as an athlete, can be tough. It can be a struggle. I understand. Even if you have, even if you have 100K followers on Instagram, like, you'll get some attention, but that doesn't guarantee you're going to raise a smooth venture around. You have to be very strategic and know your shit, know what you're talking about, and know the right people. And there's a rift here. There's a disconnect, because you have the athlete mentality of like, oh, I have all this discipline and I'm going to put all my energy into this, and you're betting on me, right? And then there's like the reality of it. It's like, okay, I didn't watch that much of your games. I don't have an autograph from you. I need to see more traction. There's never enough traction, by the way, so I wouldn't worry about that. But that's something I see a lot. And a lot of athletes come to us in A&A and ask, okay, can you connect me to capital? Man, for any athletes out there listening, and other people listening as well, when you're trying to develop a relationship that you need at that moment, don't expect the world to move for you. I think you got to build the seeds. You got to water your plants. You got to water your plants. And a lot of athletes are very cocky. They don't water their plants. They don't say hi to the student next to them in class. They don't like spend that much time talking to the fan that always hangs around 20, 30 minutes after the game, who actually happens to own a large fund. You screwed up, buddy. Should have signed that kid's jersey twice, okay? You got to think about who you're dealing with, but also have some street smarts, have some awareness. But I hope those 3 don'ts will help you guys along your journey. If you need more advice or want to chat, feel free to reach out. I ain't hard to find, Coach Prime Voice.
I ain't hard to find.
Because this is Athletes and Assets. If you like that, please subscribe, tell a friend about us. Tell us any athletes. What athletes should we have on the pod? Like, give us some lob us here, man. We want to showcase your favorite athletes as we've done in the past. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'm your host, Noah Lack. See you soon for another one.